and tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm in the shul there. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I told it to you on Thursday, and I should have sent out a reminder.
Yeah.
Another. Yeah, but thank you for going to the shul. So we're going to learn all about Ashra Yeshua V'Secha. It's special to sit inside of a shul today. That's today's Gemara. Ashra Yeshua V'Secha. And Schar Psias Yeshua. We learned about that as well. A special reward for every step we take to walk to the shul. The very last thing we learned was a shul in Chutz La'aretz, or a shul today that we have in most places that we know of. You are allowed to use a shul for other uses besides for davening and learning. You're also allowed to eat and drink in there, take a short nap in there. It's all made on a condition that it could be used for other uses as well. Although Rav Asi said that one is allowed to use a shul for other uses, he said one should not disrespect a shul, because if one uses a shul to make cheshbonos, to make calculations, even if it's cheshbonos or rabbim, even if it's a calculation needed for the public, the shul is going to be used for another lively topic, which is not another use, which is eventually going to be used for a meis mitzvah. Someone who has nowhere to be buried passes away. They're going to be buried in the shul because of the disrespect that was shown to the shul. Says the Gemara, "Ve'ein ne'osim behem." If you have a Gemara, it's about 15 lines down from the page. Next to the text is sha'afilu. One of the things you cannot do in the shul is putting on makeup, getting dressed. You could fix your tie to make sure it's straight, looking in a mirror, but you shouldn't use a shul as a place where you just are not doing, you're not involved in the topic of kedusha and of mitzvah then. Amar Rava says, there is an exception to this. Chachamim v'talmideim mutarin. A Torah scholar and a Talmid Chacham, a student of a Torah scholar, they are allowed to do other uses in the shul. They're allowed to eat and drink in the shul. They cannot use a shul as a shortcut. As we said earlier, you need to get from point A to point B, and the shul's in the middle. You can't walk through the shul, you have to walk around the shul. However, they're a Torah scholar and a Talmud, someone who's sitting and learning the whole day in the shul, they are allowed to eat and drink in the shul. And if they need to adjust their clothes, to look, comb their beard, to look presentable, they're allowed to do it. Why? The Amar Rebbe Shua ben Levi, for Rebbe Shua ben Levi states, Mai Bei Rabbanan. Whenever we say a Beis Medrash in the Gemara, many times, very often we use the term Bei Rabbanan, the house of the sages. Bei means a house, base. The Beis Medrash is a place where a Torah scholar, Talmid Chacham, lives over there. That is not just a second home, it is his first home. And therefore, they are allowed to eat and drink and sleep, even in a Beis Medrash, or the Beis HaKnesses, even in a shul. I was bringing up this picture over here. I was looking for, they rebuilt this recently in a modern way. Good morning, Rabbi Shmuel, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. Thank you for joining. In the city of Lubavitch, town of Lubavitch, there was a yeshiva. And there were older students and younger students. In the beginning, the yeshiva was 12 hand-picked Bachrim to yeshiva students. Later on, the Rebbe Rashab was accepting more people and more people. But in the beginning, about, I think, 75% of applicants were turned away. To be accepted was a very unique status. From far and near, they would come to be accepted to the yeshiva. Later on, the yeshiva grew and grew. Grew to be over 300 Bachrim, 300 students just in Lubavitch. And then there were many satellite branches all over. The younger students ended up going to a different town called Shadrin, where if you go into the lobby of the Lubavitch Center, you'll see for the martyrs of Shadrin, you'll see a plaque for them. There's many Shadriners in Pittsburgh, many from the Shadrin community. They're all Chabad Hasidim moved to Pittsburgh. The older students would learn every day till 11 o'clock at night. The younger students would learn every day till 10 o'clock at night. Younger means age 13 to 15, I think, maybe to 16. Older would be after that till about 20 or 22, until however long they would stay, usually about 20 or 21. They would usually get married younger. They didn't have any fancy dormitories like they have today for the yeshiva, but rather everyone slept in the zal, in the shul on a bench. The younger students would learn in a different location, in the zal katan, in the small zal. Here would be the zal gadol where the older students would learn. And every night at 10 o'clock, when they would finish studying and learning, they would go into the zal gadol, to the big zal. And it was a unique seder, unique way of learning, that from 10 to 11 p.m. at night, they would watch the older boys learn. That was what they would do. They would watch the older Bachrim learn in order to have a sort of a dugma chaya, to have an example of what to aspire, what to be like. And 11 o'clock, they would take all the tables and they would have pull out shelves from the walls. Some of the yeshiva boys, older ones, would get to sleep on the benches. Young ones would have to sleep on the pull-out shelves from the walls. And everyone slept in the zal till the morning. I think at 6:30 in the morning or 7, that's when everyone would have to get up. And this is the way it was. In the yeshiva, and many yeshivas were like this. Many places were like this. You slept on the bench of the shul. So a Torah scholar or a student in a yeshiva is allowed to eat and drink and sleep in a shul and in a Beis HaMedrash. Go all over Russia. You see the old shuls during the time of communism. Every shul is where the students of yeshiva, Tamket Mimim, where they were being sent around, where they had to, being persecuted. They ate, they slept, they drank in a shul. They went to the women's section. They would hide out there until the people left the shul, the congregants left in the morning, and then they would come and learn there during the day. So a shul was a place where a Talmid Chacham, a Torah scholar, is allowed to eat and drink. Now, what's the reason? Why are we more lenient with a Torah scholar? So there's different reasons given. Chassam Sofer. Hope everyone could hear me because it's on my end. Chassam Sofer says, Chassam Sofer writes, because everybody comes to shul, but they come from far and near. Not sure if everyone can hear. The problem with Zoom, because computer works with everything else just fine.
Can anyone hear or see Rabbi Itkin?
Not me.
Yeah, he's not on my screen anymore.
I can't hear the rabbi either.
Yeah, I can't.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope everyone can hear me over here. Has happened several times. It's a brand new computer. Okay. At least I'll continue the Gemara the outside. See if I could actually share the screen over here from my cell phone. It won't be the same quality. What is the reason a Torah scholar is allowed to eat and drink and sleep in a shul? Different reasons that are given. You have the Rimi Lunil, he was a French Tam Chacham from the time of the Bali Tosfos, and it was very common that many people would be goylel makom Torah. They would go to a faraway city in order to learn Torah. And let me just copy this. Let me see if I can share the screen from here on my phone. More. Share. Okay. So since people will travel from so far, if they would not be able to eat or sleep or drink in the shul, they know they'll go to a new place, they'll have nowhere to live, and therefore the people are going to hold back from learning Torah. So therefore they allow them, when you go to a new place, to eat and drink and sleep in the shul. Some Sofer writes, because there's a hierarchy. More important than honoring a shul is honoring a Talmud Chacham, a Torah scholar. That's greater, and therefore a Torah scholar takes precedence, and therefore he is allowed to eat and drink in the shul. In halacha, there's three different opinions. One opinion is a Ran and the Ramban, which says that even a Torah scholar can only eat and drink in a shul if they have no other choice. The Rambam says that a Torah scholar is allowed to eat in a base medrash, but not in a base knesses. And the Torah and halacha brings that nowadays there's many places for permissibility, especially the time when those who need to eat and drink if wanted to raise the quality and the scepter of Torah. So now there's a lot more place to eat and drink in a shul and to make a shul like your second home. We're going to see several different in the Gemara, several different reasons that one could eat or drink in a shul. One of them is just in order to have a clear head, in order to learn in a shul. However, everyone agrees that you cannot use the shul to make a shortcut or to do anything else that is not needed. It continues the Gemara. Let me see. I'm just going to make a copy of the link. It continues the Gemara. One may not enter a shul if it's too rainy to protect themselves from the rain. One may not enter a shul to protect themselves from the sun if it's too hot.
Excuse me, could you post the link in chat? And then each of us could put it up?
Yeah, let me do that.
Instead of seeing our pretty faces.
Don't know why. It happened. It's not the first time it happened with this brand new computer. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll post it now in the chat. So I'm going to try have a computer going in the meantime. Maybe I'll go use the other one today. Could use my internet today. I'm using. Ravina. For example, Ravina, Rav Ada bar Masna, Havukaimi v'shali she'ilta. They one time were discussing a deep discussion in Torah learning, Merava. And they were discussing with Rava. While they were learning, Asa Zilcha Mitra started to rain. The Aili Lebek Nishta, and they walked into the shul, which was nearby, and they continued the discussion, protected from the rain. The Amri, and they said, Hi, Daililan Lebek Nishta. This we have entered the shul. Lav Mishum Mitra, not because it's raining, Eli Mishum Lishmaita Baitzalusa. We only entered the shul because we might be getting back on track. This is a wind. Sorry, thank you. In order to learn, you have to have a clear head. Very important. I guess we all need a clear head in order to learn. Like a northern wind, when northern wind comes and blows, it blows away all the storms, all the inclement weather. It says in the desert, the Jewish people did not give their children a bris milah because there was no northern wind. The northern wind is very healthy for a child, for a baby. And because they were surrounded by clouds, there was no northern wind, and they did not give a bris to their children. They were not able to bring a carbon pesach in the desert. And the only Shevet tribe which gave a bris to their children was Shevet Levi. And he says, in order to learn, one must have a clear head like a northern wind. And therefore, we enter the shul only in order to be able to learn better, but not to protect ourselves from the rain. So although it may look like they're entering the shul in order to protect themselves from the rain, they were saying, we're not worried that people will suspect us we're doing that. Rather, we're only entering the shul in order to learn better. The Alter Rebbe, he was a successor of the Maggid of Mezrich, who was in turn a successor of the Baal Shem Tov. The dynasty did not go from father to son. It went from the Rebbe to the greatest, or Talmud, the greatest student. After the Alter Rebbe's Istalkus, the Alter Rebbe's son took over, Mittel Rebbe. He became the next Rebbe. And from then on, it started going in a family dynasty. It's interesting. Although it goes in a family dynasty, the Frierdiker Rebbe, this would happen in 1904 or 5. This is during the Beilis trials in Russia. Mendel Beilis was, accused of making a blood libel, and there were a few, for many months, there was a trial until he's eventually acquitted entirely, miraculously. And the Rebbe Rashab was quite involved in the entire Beilis story. But at one time there was, many rumors going around at that point was that not all Jews use Christian blood for matzahs. Only type of Jews called Hasidim do it. So they sent the court sent a large delegation of priests to Hasidim. Who the greatest Hasidus in Russia was Lubavitch. So they sent them to the town of Lubavitch to make investigations to see if this is true. So they went to Lubavitch. They had a long discussion with the Frierdiker Rebbe, son of the Rebbe Rashab. They also looked up every single sefer in the house of the Rebbeim, of the Rebbe Rashab, and the Frierdiker Rebbe trying to understand what it talks. If he uses the word dam, blood, trying to make some type of connection. Obviously, they couldn't find anything. Then they heard there's more Sfarim in the yeshiva. They ran to the yeshiva. They looked over there for many Sfarim. They couldn't find anything either. Who knows if they're understanding what they're reading? Ak, ma, ban, all the Chassidic terms. And the Frierdiker Rebbe told the Falakan, one of the older students of the yeshiva, and he says, was this whole delegation of priests interviewed him for several hours. He says even a young yeshiva bacher, young yeshiva student, is sharper than them. One of the questions the Frierdiker Rebbe said they asked me was, does the dynasty of Chassid to Rebbe, does it go from father to son, or does it go according to the most deserving one? And Frierdiker Rebbe answered, it goes according to both. So one of the greatest, maybe not the greatest, who am I to judge? I have no understanding in such matters, obviously. But one of the greatest students, the Talmidim of the Alter Rebbe, Chassidim, his name was Reb Aaron Strasheller. Tremendous Talmid Chacham, tremendous Gaon, and tremendous Tzaddik as well. And he was best friends with the Mittel Rebbe, Alter Rebbe's son, although he was much, much older than him. And they used to learn the Chavrusa. Later on, after the assault of the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Hershel thought that he's a most deserving student of the Alter Rebbe. He opened up his own chassidus, and for several years, until he passed away about half a year after the Mittel Rebbe. Mittel Rebbe passed away very young, and he had his own chassidus called Hershel. He even has svarim. The Rebbe said to print the svarim, and the beginning of the rift between Rabbi Hershel and Mittel Rebbe took place during the times of the Alter Rebbe. There were two chassidim who were walking in the street in Liadi, or it must have been Liajna, either one of them, and they were discussing one of the most recent memorim of the Alter Rebbe, and in great depth they were discussing it, and it started raining very strongly. So they walked into the closest building to continue discussing what they were learning. And they finished they're discussing it, and then they walked out and they continue walking on their way, and people on the street are walking by, and it says, what are two chassidim doing walking out of a church? They had no idea that they walked into a church. And word got around. The Mittel Rebbe heard about it. The Mittel Rebbe smiled. He laughed. These two chassidim didn't have in mind to walk into a church. And Rabbi Hershel saw the Mittel Rebbe laughed, and he got very upset about it. And he says, how could you make light of the fact? Now, Mittel Rebbe was looking at, they had no idea where they're walking into, and that's sort of what happened. So the idea to walk into a shul to protect yourself from the rain is something you're not supposed to do. To protect yourself from the sun is something you're not supposed to do. Now, shuls nowadays are a bit different if you're allowed to do your needs, but you have to be a Torah scholar. What makes you a Torah scholar? So that's the next Gemara. Although the next Gemara quotes this in a different terminology, but this is another way of saying, based on the Gemara in Kiddushin, what could qualify you as a Torah scholar that you would be allowed to go into a shul to protect yourself from the sun or the rain, or as the Gemara will quote in a different way, and we'll bring the halacha right after. Amar le Ravacha b'nei Rava le Ravashi. Ravacha, the son of Rava, said to Ravashi, if a person is in shul and you need to call him from the shul, what should you do? Since you can't enter a shul for that purpose, the Gemara did not suggest to call them on their cell phone, because the Gemara assumes no one brings their phones into shul, or it's on silent. So if you need to call someone from shul, what should you do? Says the Gemara, my Amar lei. So Rava answered back to Rav Ashi answered back to Rav Acha, if he's a Torah scholar, Leima Hilchasa, then let him say halacha in the shul. Now, it doesn't have to be a tremendous Torah scholar, but just someone who's able to know halacha. And since you're going to shul to sit down, you're learning, so then that's considered to be already going into a shul for a purpose of learning. And then first say halacha, then you're able to call your friend. But don't first call your friend before you say some words of Torah, because then it looks like a Torah is secondary. The itanahu, if you're a person who doesn't know halacha, you're a tana. Not a Tana of the times of the Mishnah, but a Tana is someone who just knows how to learn Mishnayos. First sit down, learn a Mishnah, teach a Mishnah, and then call your friend. V'ikarahu, if you don't know how to learn Mishnayos, all you know what to do is Mikra, words of the Torah, a pasuk, leim psuka, say a pasuk. V'iloi, and if you don't know how to do that either, tell a child, tell me something that you learned today. Of course, first you have to ask the other person to teach me something, and then you could go ahead and call a person. So even if you yourself don't learn, but you have someone else teaching you, that's already sufficient. Inami, or else, if there's no one else in the shul and you're the only person there, then nishi porta v'nekom, and he can't learn at all. You should spend a little bit of time sitting in the shul. It says a shiur of walking 4 amos. The Mishnah Berurah says even a shorter shiur, the shiur of walking 8 tfachim, which is maybe 10 seconds. Just sit over there in a spot in the shul, and then afterwards you could leave the shul. Because even being in a shul, as Rabbi Karp is right now in a shul, is a tremendous, tremendous mitzvah, as it states, Ashrei Yoshei B'Secha. Praiseworthy are those who sit in your house, in the house of Hashem. There's a halachic discussion. This last Gemara, which stated that you're allowed to walk into a shul because of rain, you're not allowed to walk into a shul to protect yourself from the rain. Is this Gemara telling you how you're allowed to do it, or it's a separate topic if you want to call your friend? The Mishnah Berurah says pretty clearly that these are 2 separate topics, and if you need to protect yourself from the rain, you cannot go into a shul, unless there's literally no other way. But even previously, when these 2 chachamim, 2 sages, walking to a shul, was only in order to have a clear mind. Yoyme Astana, we need to have a clear head in order to learn. Other poskim say that you are allowed to enter a shul if it's raining, because if you sit down and you learn, it's not recognizable that you're coming in just because of the rain. But if you do not learn, if you're just walking into a shul and having a discussion, that is definitely a problem. Somebody walks into a shul, somebody should definitely sit and learn or say some words of Torah in the shul. In general, shuls are a place of Torah, tefillah, sitting and learning and davening, and you shouldn't do other things in the shul, because then it looks like everything else is secondary. In Chassidus, we know very strongly how the importance of a shul. We're going to learn more about the Beis Rabbeinu Shabbat. Whenever you have 10 people, the Shechina is there. Even if 10 people are sitting around and playing golf or doing nothing, you have 10 Jews together, the Shechina is there, and it's so powerful that a malach, an angel, will not be able to be there. A shul is called a mikdash mi'at, a small Beis HaMikdash. In the olden days, you could say there were differences between a Beis Knesset, a Beis Medrash, a house of study, and a house of learning. Nowadays, we don't have very much differences of houses of study, houses of learning. We usually have all of the qualities of a shul are all together. One unique aspect you could say of a Chassidish shul was always that they were called a cheder sheni, a second room. A second room for those who wanted to daven longer, daven more at length. There was this picture that I brought in. There's also a video, but I lost it right now. See over here, this is the Rebbe telling Rabbi Chadakov. The Rebbe is walking out of the shul. The Rebbe is pointing to a piece of paper. You can see over there on the floor, telling him that the shul has to be clean. You have to have respect for a shul. It will be very common, very often. The Rebbe wasn't begashim as a young person in his 70s, in his 80s. The Rebbe would always bend down, pick up a piece of paper from the floor. And back in the days, in the 60s and the 50s, the Rebbe would pick up the cigarette butts from the floor. The Rebbe would, if the things were not clean in place, the Rebbe pointed this out in public many, many times. There, in the year 1974, the Gabayim of the shul in 770 would announce every single week how nobody should speak at all during davening. And one week they announced, last week was quiet during shul. Everyone make sure not to speak at all during davening. And later on, it came to we understood there were unfortunately many people who were passing away in Crown Heights at that time. And they asked the Rebbe, what should they do? And the Rebbe says, it's very important, never even say why it's happening, but it's very important to make sure that no one should speak in shul during davening, and the older and the younger people and the elders should be in charge of the youngers, that those should not speak during davening. And that's why every single week they would announce no one should speak during davening in shul. There's a video I'll bring it tomorrow, Mir Hashem. When the Rebbe was being Chazen, I think this is in the year after the Rebbetzin, Chaim Stalik passed away. And there's a video of the Rebbe in Talis and Tefillin, and there was a piece of paper on the floor of the shul, and the Rebbe spoke very sharply about it while he's doing wearing Talis and Tefillin, telling Meir Harlik after he picked it up that the Rashi, you could hear the Rebbe speaking loudly and passionately. Rashi's father, like Farkachin, the shulman sein board. He would clean the shul with his beard. The Rebbe would speak about when they would throw a package of at the chassan for an ufruf, a package of candies or whatever they would throw, and on the floor of the shul is the paper bag is still sitting there. And he goes by Mincha, it's still there. Goes by Sunday, it's still there. And how could such a thing happen? And so it's all from we see here the importance of respecting the idea of a shul. Although the shul is our house, and the shul is our first home, not just our second home, but it's very important that we should definitely keep up a shul as the Beis Hamikdash, as our home. So Shkoyach, thank you for joining, and Shkoyach, thank you, Rabbi Yossi, thank you, Rabbi Karp, thank you, Rabbi Kaminsky. Thank you, Moshe. Thank you, Pinchas. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
And thank you for being in the shul for us today. Tomorrow we're going to continue with the next topic. The next sugya is espedim, giving eulogies in the shul. Shul should be a happy place. So could you give eulogies?
Is there a Yad Torah tonight?
Yeah.